Set leisure goals for yourself. What do I mean by this? Well, for some of you guys, you need the exact opposite. You guys are getting way too much leisure. But for others, like me, that are constantly focusing on working every day, we will suffer the opposite end where we're suffering burnout. The workaholics, if you want to call it. I don't like labeling it as workaholism. I like to label it as being fully engaged with my craft, with my practice. I am fully engaged with my practice so much that I am at risk for burnout. And what I need to then do is I need to actually schedule in my leisure time, and I need to actually have leisure goals where, I might have a leisure goal such as, take a vacation, every 9 months, right? Or a leisure goal as watch 4 movies a month. Or a leisure goal as have 1 hour of self-care a day, right? Or let's see what else. Go to this restaurant, right? Like maybe it's something specific. Maybe it's something you've been wanting to do, right? So set these goals for yourself where you are able to check off things that you want to do, for leisure, right? Or maybe it's like beat this video game by this time, For me, I have such an abundant life now where I have to actually schedule in time to play a video game. And, once in a while, there's a fucking amazing game that comes out. It's a game that comes, once every 10 years or so. Plus or minus a couple years, right? And for me, like right now, it's like Elden Ring. And I've bought it like a month ago when it was on that Steam sale. And I haven't even touched it yet. I finally got around to installing it like last week. But that was because of a different issue. Like more of a hardware issue that I had. And so now I have to be like, hey, I should set some time aside where I, maybe play an hour a week of video games or whatever. And it's kind of funny how that's changed for me. Like, whereas for most people, perhaps most people listening, they need the exact opposite, where it's like they need to schedule in hours so that you study every single day. They need to schedule in just more of a load. You're getting way too much leisure. But that's another thing as well, is what I want to really hit on this point is that, there's like different qualities of leisure, right? So there's like the crappy qualities, which is like YouTube. Now, sometimes it's good, but usually just that whole dopamine fishing attitude where you're just fishing for dopamine, scrolling from one thing to the next, jumping around the internet. You're not really getting like a full fulfillment, like a full recharge. It's just kind of meh. Like a full recharge is up here, and you're like down here when you're doing dopamine fishing activities such as, scrolling a TikTok or watching YouTube or whatever. And so contrast that against, watching a movie, and then like after you watch that movie, it's like, yeah, that felt really good. That's where I'm talking about the kind of leisure you want to schedule into your day, right? Perhaps, video games might not even be, a good outlet for leisure anymore, at least for me. I was a huge gamer growing up, but as I became more conscious, I have learned that I am way more happy when I just work towards a goal. And ideally, that's actually where I want for you, is like where you become so conscious, where you just stop doing this bullshit. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a paradoxical nature to this lesson, where, for a lot of people, you don't need this at all, but maybe when you think about your leisure, try to make it more high quality, right? Instead of like a random YouTube video, watch a movie that you've been meaning to want to watch, right? Something that's special, right? When I remember Joe Rogan talking about this, right? Where you appreciate things more when you work hard. And that's kind of where I'm at now, where, I will appreciate food more because I work out. I'll appreciate just life more in general because I put more into it. I'll appreciate watching a movie a whole lot more after I've put in a solid day's work. Like, nothing is better than just doing like your favorite thing for leisure after you have really worked hard that day. That's a reward. And my suggestion is that you should actually schedule in and have goals of like some high quality forms of reprieve, high quality forms of recharging your own batteries. Where you're actually motivated, that this should actually motivate you. This should actually motivate you to work harder, such that like by the time you do, have that movie time scheduled in, say at the end of the day, ideally, by the time you watch that movie, you would have had a fully productive day because of it. And also, when you're a fully engaged individual like me that can spend days upon end focusing on the books, we can forget that there's a whole lot of art out there to experience, right? And I'm talking like movies and whatnot, so, but not just limited to movies as well. And so, and of course, the traveling as well, right? It's a whole world to experience. So, scheduling these goals, and especially if you're everyone really, but like especially if like you're a creative type, you need to feed your muse a lot. And so schedule in traveling. That's actually like necessary for your personal growth. So with that, I would like to thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.